But it's cool hearing the Ray Lewis part of that. Brad and I, we actually just were talking about just kind of the impact, Ray's had on the community and just the experience in general. Right, Brad?
Yeah. And it actually got me wondering, it's perfect that you were talking about Ray because, now there's Roquan Smith that, is that dude in Baltimore. And there's been a lot of comparisons of this Baltimore defense to that 2000 defense as well. Not quite as like there's a bunch of bruisers like there was back in 2000, even though there is on this squad. But, do you see qualities in Roquan that you saw in Ray Lewis as well? And how do you think today's defense on the Ravens, I mean, first in the league in points per game and second in yards, I believe, as well. So, like, is there some similarities that you're seeing between both of those squads from 2000 to today, even though it's obviously quite a different NFL?
Yeah, no question about it. I think that Roquan Smith is the closest thing that you can get to Ray in this day and time. I really do. And I hate comparisons, man. I remember my big rookie year I had. I went to the Pro Bowl, All-Pro, defensive rookie, and all that stuff. And I remember writing an article in the Union Tribune in San Diego comparing me to Junior Seau. And I'm sitting there. Mind you, I think I'm 21 years old at the time or something like that. And I'm sitting there in front of my locker reading this piece that they wrote in the Union Tribune. I was like, God, I hate comparisons. For one, Junior Seau in San Diego, dude, there was nobody bigger that ever came through San Diego and Southern California in general in sports, in my opinion, right? And so I hate comparing anybody to Ray Lewis because for somebody that did it as high as he did on that level for as long as he did, it's next to impossible in this day and age for guys to do that, and especially with one team. We don't see it like that too often. With Smith and Queen and inside, I think they're the best 1-2 tandem in football generally. And I love Fred. Fred Warner is one of my favorite players. I love watching Fred. A couple other guys, I can kind of throw out there that fit in that mix. But when you're talking about the tenacity and the physicalness of how they play the game, that he's the closest thing to Ray. And so when they brought in Chuck Smith too, also, right? So Chuck Smith was my pass rush coach in the offseason. I used to go see Chuck Smith in Atlanta, and I used to stay for a week plus at a time, and I worked with him for hours, sometimes twice a day when I go see him. So when I saw them bringing him on the staff, I said, you know what? They're about to look a whole lot different. Because Chuck is, when it comes to teaching, there's nobody better that I've worked with. And I've probably worked with 10 or 15 different pass rushing coaches in the country, track coaches, starting coaches. When I tell you the technicality of what Chuck does, it's no surprise that Jadeveon Clowney has bounced back. He went missing for 3 or 4 years in the NFL.
He did.
We see flashes of him making big plays here and there when he's in Cleveland. His tail ended up with the Texans. We see flashes. We haven't seen him play like this in the last 4 years. And so I'm not surprised. Look what they're doing. Look what they're building out there. Look at their attitudes. And more importantly, forget the tackles that he made. Look how they're making tackles. They are finishing, punishing guys. They're the most physical team, in my opinion, in the NFL, in their style of play. So yeah, man, I love watching those guys and just what they're building in general.
That we feel the same way, but it's always nice when you have someone that went through it and can see it and can show it because – I mean, man, it's been really fun to watch this group in Baltimore because this style of play, the NFL's changed, and this style of play, that's the part with Roquan. It's been fun to see the physicality, the attention to detail, and they're flying around the field, which is incredible. And they're bringing back, in my opinion, value back to a position that wants to be kind of devalued more and more over the last few years. Another thing, because we'll ask you one more question, then I want to hear about what you are up to right now because I know you're up to a few things. But the last one to ask you, it's the biggest number 8 nowadays. Sorry, Calvin Edwin Ripken Jr., but it's Lamar Jackson. It's and I think, correct me if I'm wrong here, a few years ago, you said he was Vic 2.0, right? Does that sound about right? Mm-hmm. And you said he was exceptional from the pocket. Has anything changed since then, or has Lamar exceeded any expectations for you as we move forward now into his fifth season, sixth season in the NFL? Sixth.
Crazy. I think he's gotten a hell of a lot more accurate. And there's nothing forced. He's always had a big arm. He's always had a big arm. He always can throw the ball down the field. What he's doing now is pinpointing passes when he's rolling out the pocket and getting outside and between those tackles. He'll run when necessary. See, in the past, he would just take off unless, don't get me wrong, unless it's a design RPO run action, he's taking off run or whatever. He's a way better decision maker than he is right now. Yeah. And I don't know if that just came with maturity. Maybe that's something he focused on because he got so much, hey, I'm a running quarterback. And I don't know what it was, but something happened with him. He's just a much better decision maker. He's much more of a pinpoint accurate passer, especially when he's on a run now and creating stuff with his legs. He used to look to just run when he tucked the ball. He's actually keeping his eyes down the field. So I don't know what happened over this last year or so, but he's changed his game tremendously. That's why they're having a lot of success. And don't get me wrong, that defense is outstanding. But the way he's placing the ball, and when he threw the ball down the field to Odell Beckham, and I know that Odell made a hell of a catch, readjusting to the ball, getting his eyes back up and finding the ball and finding it. But Lamar Jackson put that ball where nobody else can catch it but him. A couple of years ago, that wouldn't have happened. That just wouldn't have happened. That would have been a pick or incomplete pass. He put that ball where only Odell can catch the football. Great route, found the ball, but only Odell can catch it. That's where I see his game elevating at this point in his career. He's gotten a lot more accurate, and his decision-making skills are way better.
So then, quick, do you believe then, last thing then, it sounds like you believe then the Lamar Jackson that's playing right now, this team can win the AFC?
If he stays healthy, yeah.
If he stays healthy, yeah. It's the biggest thing is staying healthy, right? I feel like everyone, unfortunately, has gotten hurt this year. And that's hence someone got hurt. Joe Flacco came back. That's how it works.